So yeah, it's going to be a sick card on Friday. But I'm really excited to see Craig Coakley fighting Rambolek, which is there is no fight that's going to be easy at this level for Craig, but you know, he had a very, very hard task in his first fight going in against Sua Black. This fight, I think, is a fight that he can definitely win, and he can showcase his skills, which he didn't get the opportunity to do in the first fight. It was such a short contest, but you know, to have an Irish fighter fighting at that level, hopefully getting a win, if he does get the win, he'll be the first Irish fighter to win on one championship. So we're definitely rooting from here on Crackhouse anyway. Really hope he gets the win. His second fight,
is it?
His second fight on one, yeah. And Craig's the type of fighter, the more active he is, I think the better he gets. And coming into the fight against Sua Black, he had a big layoff. He won the road to one championship competition, and then he had like, I can't remember exactly, was it like 8 months out before he went in against Sua Black? And for someone like Craig, I think he needs to be active. So, you know, he gets a good win now on Friday and gets another fight a few months later, and we see him go on a good path then, hopefully towards the title fight.
After root for the Irish fella.
Yeah, and he's very, very entertaining to watch. But so that's one fight. And then in the bantamweight as well, we have Nabil Ann fighting Lobo. So Nabil Ann is the very tall and awkward fucking fella. He's half Algerian, half Thai, and I don't know, is he 6'2" or something for a bantamweight? Absolutely.
What's that? 135?
No, bantamweight in the Thai is 145. So 66 kilos. Yeah, he's massive, boy.
Wow. But look, I just found out as well, he's only 19, is he?
Yeah, he's so young, man. And he's like, he's not just tall and gangly. He has power, and he has fucking, you know, good shot selection. He doesn't just have one thing that he's good at. He really mixes it well. But he's fighting Lobo, and Lobo fought Hagerty for the bantamweight title a few months ago. Dropped Hagerty, so he has power. He has the ability to hurt people. I think if he's going to try and beat Nabil Ann, the only really way he can go about it is, you know, try hurt the legs early, look to land some body shots, which we've seen in the past. We've seen Nabil Ann hurt with body shots. Superlek actually stopped him with body shots a few fights ago. I would definitely have my money on Nabil Ann for this one, though. How about you, Rob?
100%.
Yeah.
As you always say, it's the perfect body for Thai boxing, you know.
Yeah.
It's just, it's made for, and I just can't believe the power he has, you know. Good technique for such a lanky fella and everything.
We spoke about that gym last week, Venom training camp, and all the Russians coming out of that camp. The coach Meji Zahut and Nabil Ann is also out of that camp, so like he has the best training, you know, absolute camp of killers there. So he's going to be coming into this hoping to make a statement. If he does an impressive win, he'll probably be calling for the title shot, and I wonder what Carrillo will think about that, because I haven't heard Chattery, the CEO, I haven't heard him say, oh yeah, Carrillo's definitely next in line. Have you heard him say anything in regards to that, like that Carrillo's definitely getting the next title shot?
No, I didn't hear anything at all.
Because if Nabil Ann gets a good win, if Hagerty beats Superlek then for the title, and if he retains the title, if he decides to go and defend his kickboxing title in December, that means that Carrillo will have to wait until March or April next year, and one championship might want him win that long.
So he has different titles for the different disciplines in the same organisation.
Yeah, and he wants to go for the triple. He wants to go for the MMA title as well, he said.
So what two does he have? Kickboxing and Muay Thai?
Yeah, and he beat Fabricio Andrade for the kickboxing title, but Fabricio Andrade he still is the MMA champion, but he was also the kickboxing champion until Hagerty
beat him. He's the MMA champ as well.
So Hagerty wants to go into MMA and fight him now. And that's what I mean, I think, for Hagerty, there's so many super fights on the plate for him. You know what? He's definitely not the type of fella who's going to avoid a fight with anyone, but I think it would be sensible for him to look for big money fights and then fight the tough fight against Carrillo, because even though Carrillo is getting a name, he's still not anywhere near
100%
superstar.
Strategic, but you have to be at that level.
Yeah.
We do have to talk about Hagerty, actually.
Will
Hagerty.
What?
His brother.
Oh, Freddie.
What about him?
Oh,
Freddie.
Freddie.
Will Hagerty. Willie Hagerty.
What? That's the up to.
First round knockout.
Yeah, he had a great win there at the weekend.
He's unreal, like, you know. He's
his
not
brother is in there as well.
His younger brother, yeah, and he's different to Jonathan as well, which I like. He doesn't have he has some similarities, but he's his own fighter, and he has good bang on him. By he dropped your man, and then 10 seconds later, he got dropped himself.
That's it.
Came back then and dropped him with the right hand.
I actually saw a video on TikTok randomly this week of Jonathan Hagerty hitting a punch machine. He must have been on holiday with his old doll or something.
Oh, he's a savage.
She hits the first one, he smashes it and beats the high score.
Yeah,
he's a big cunt though. He's famous enough, but he's a good few followers.
Yeah, he's getting very
all
famous.
The comments was like, imagine you're on holiday and you see Jonathan Hagerty smashing the thing.
Yeah, but he got into, he was kind of the first fella from Europe to be big and won.
Yeah.
You know, he fought Rod Tang twice. He fought, who else did he fight? And he beat Sammy. He beat Sammy in a great fight. So he does have that superstar kind of name now. But there's 2 MMA fights in the main card this Friday, and one of them is a strawweight title fight, which is always an interesting weight category, I think, because firstly UFC don't have it, and the smaller guys, even though you don't get the kind of excitement of having potential knockouts, the variety of skills you see in a strawweight fight is unbelievable, because they're so light, they just go from start to finish. They're going
Full
through
pelt.
grappling exchanges to bait the band. They're throwing probably 100 punches around, if not more. So very, very exciting. And also then, I think another element of it with one championship, they don't incentivize fighters to be careful. Whereas I think UFC, like Dana said at the weekend, he was giving out with the 100k. Did you see that? He said, I'm never doing it again.
Yeah.
But you can't try and incentivize people by giving them a 100k bonus. But at the same time, you cut their wages in half if they lose. Of course, the boys are going to be thinking, all right, like I might get 100k if I go for broke, but I could fucking lose the fight.
Yeah, so
and I could lose half my wages. Yeah, because why?
True.
The boys are thinking about maybe they're getting 25k, and they're saying I'd rather fight and win. And that's why I think in UFC you see so many people being a bit more cautious, and like it is still entertaining. MMA
so much.
Yeah, but they're not going for broke. Like, and Dana claims the 100k should incentivize them, but only 3 lads are going to get it, or is it 4 lads are going to get 100k?
Yeah,
I think it's changing in UFC though, because before they hated when their record was tarnished if they had a loss.
Yeah.
But I feel like nowadays, you can have the loss, and then whereas in one championship, like it doesn't even matter. Like you're on to the next one, and
no matter.
Yeah, I think the bigger fighters, especially like Max Holloway and all, like they don't care as long as you go to fight. But I think like in the undercard there in Manchester, there were 7 decision fights. But these lads are probably getting paid maximum 100k, 50 to show, 50 to win. So if they're going in saying I can be sensible and get 100 grand in my pocket and win, or I can go for broke, maybe just forget the game plan, lose the fight, go away with 50k and a defeat.
Yeah.
So that's why they're more cautious.
And then it hinders your money for the next fight. So it's probably you might get your 100k and lose, but then your next fight is worse, and you lose, and
exactly.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
Slippery
slope.
I never thought of it like that though, because then they could win but lose.
Yeah, I think Dana just looks at like, you should be going for broke for 100k, but
now when it was the 300k for UFC 300, you'd be thinking, right, fuck.
And that did make a difference probably. There was a lot of
because that banger was fights and that,
but also all the lads on the card were pretty fucking big already, so
that was going to be good,
big paychecks. But yeah, and I think one championship as well, another thing they do is that you can't hold positions. Like if you're on the grappling exchange and you're holding position, you have to be looking for a finish. The referee will stand you up if you're kind of just laying on top of a fella or a girl laying on top of a girl. But the UFC card the weekend, what do you think of it?
Yeah, it was good. It was good, but
did you see that we were right in our prediction about the fights? Apparently there was fucking scraps all over the gaff.
Oh, that's what I sent. That's what I was saying to you a while ago. Yeah, I sent that in.
But it makes, like, anyone with a fucking brain would know that was going to happen.
And have you seen the stuff online of all the people asleep?
I was there.
I've seen a video of it's like a viral video of loads of videos put together. There's boys left, right and centre conked. There's one
they're probably getting since 7 o'clock.
Yeah, there's one there where Tom Aspinall's chatting away and your man Joe slumped in the chair. There's a load of boys. You have to put it up for the edit. There's a load of boys asleep at it as well.
Yeah, because I saw Paddy said it as well in an interview beforehand. He's saying like, people are going to be on, because your man was saying to him, there's going to be lots of monster brought at that event, and he was like, it's going to be more than that. It's going to be more than that. And he said there's going to be loads of fights. But no, it was a good card, other than the fact that there was a lot of decisions. I think when they got to the main card, things started to get a bit more exciting. But Paddy, he made some
regardless of what you think about Paddy, he is exciting. The walkout's always good.
Banging.
The walkout, I always loved his walkout though. Since Cage Warriors, still his walkout's sick.
I was in the Echo Arena when he fought Sauron, and I swear to God, it
unbelievable.
Was the best walkout I've ever seen, because all the crowd from Liverpool, the lights go off, and then it's dun dun dun.
That is class.
And he's bouncing when he comes out. Then we'll have to get to
one of them at some stage.
Do you know, I was saying last week that I was like, I don't think he can beat Bobby Green in the feet, and he'll have to take it to the ground to get the win. But instead of, going, which I thought it was a very smart game plan by, use his reach, bang the calf early. Like Bobby Green, after 2 calf kicks, changed his stance.
Yeah, he was switching stance.
So he was using the jab very well, backing off. He wasn't getting into any exchange with Bobby, and he forced Bobby Green then to do something that I never in a million years thought he'd do, which is shoot for a takedown on Paddy, who, if you've watched Paddy, through his Cage Warriors career, flying triangles, guillotines, he's unbelievable. When someone shoots at him, he's always
dangerous,
like actively looking for a finish straight away. And then he put him to sleep. I did think the referee stepped in a bit late for that as well. You can see Bobby was gone.
His arm was gone and his head was gone.
Yeah, but I don't think his arm would have been gone if the referee stepped in when he was out. But
speaking of referee stopping things at funny times, what did you think about Tom Aspinall?
Yeah, I do think that was kind of a little bit early, boy.
Little bit.
Do you think so?
It's very dangerous, like with
I
big
don't.
fellas.
No,
yeah, see, I saw Tom's argument afterwards, and it does make sense. Now, in your head, you're like, but then again, he's like, I'm 250 pounds. I'm on his back, punching the head off him.
Yeah.
Even if he's not fully out, where's he going? Like,
I think for fans, it makes a lot of sense that you want to see those, comeback stories. A fella gets dropped and he scrambles to a position, he gets back up and there's a fight. But for the fighter, I agree with Tom. It's like you weren't going to see anything else other than.
But the more I watch the replay of when he knocks him down, he doesn't even touch him with the right hand.
No, it was the jab that dropped him. By.
It's the jab, but afterwards he was like, 1-2. It's the jab. He didn't even hit him with the right hand. But then that's what also made me think that Blaze wasn't that out of it when he was down. It was just a shitty little jab, popped him down. He wasn't like rocked.
But someone like Tom Aspinall isn't going to be missing with those strikes on the ground. Like he's not.
I just felt like he wasn't that fucked. I don't know.
He wasn't. But I haven't heard Curtis Blades complaining. Yeah. And if the fighter himself doesn't complain, then I think no one should say anything. Yeah. He got caught. Like, and I always say this as well. If you get dropped, if you get in a position where you're potentially, if a shot hits you enough to drop you and put you a little bit wobbly. Then you can't argue with a referee. His job is to protect the fighters. Yeah.
Even just after, you could see Curtis Blades was a bit like, I think he kind of wanted to complain. He was kind of shaking his head, but he didn't go mad. Like, but no.
Yeah, don't get dropped if you don't want to be getting stopped.
Yeah, but Tom Aspinall's speed is frightening. And I'm not talking about punch speed, kick speed, just like the way he's moving.
Yeah, he's very, very
moving
good.
And bobbing, and I was like, holy shit, he's quick, boy.
I think the John Jones fight for him would be shit for John Jones to have that defeat so late in his career, but I can't see John Jones beating him.
No, he won't,
because of the reason of him being so well rounded. Like, we haven't seen much of his grappling, but he's meant to be unbelievable. I think he was a world champion in BJJ, and his movement is so good. But he wouldn't be like Cyril Gang kind of stood in front of Jones and just let him shoot in. But I think Tom would be a bit more intelligent.
I'll tell you something funny. My missus, talking about poor Molly. Yeah. My missus go, that Paddy fella has a new TV show with his wife.
Oh, with Molly, with his wife.
But I know, that's why I was like, no, that's not his wife at all.
They're his teammates.
People think they're best. People think that they're like that.
Yeah. They're just together. Buddies. Like.
Paddy looked big, didn't he, in the fight? That's one thing I thought.
He was huge.
He looked way bigger than Bobby Green.
Yeah.
I don't know how he pulled that one off.
The fight that I was almost laughing at, it actually was the Manel Camp and what's his name, Mohammed Makayev.
Yeah, he pulled the lass off him. He whipped his pants down and everything.
But also the fact, like, did you see before the fight what happened?
I've seen a lot of things, like there was more action here than the actual fucking fight.
Like, there was about 15 security guards.
Can't do that and then not go to war.
But the whole first round, they looked at each other. There was probably 5 strikes thrown in the first round, and even the commentator was like, "This is ridiculous." But you know what happened, Mohammed Makayev afterwards? So he got dropped by UFC.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw Dana was like, the PFL will have a good fighter on their hands, blah blah.
But you know the full story of that whole kind of fight between him.
Apparently there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes.
So I think how it started is they were just giving each other shit online, and then they saw each other outside the PI. I don't know how exactly the exchange happened, but whatever happened anyway, Manel Camp headbutted and elbowed Mohammed Makayev, and it was a week before he fought. So then he had a cut over his eye for the fight.
Like a week ago?
No, it was a week before he fought Perez.
A different fight.
He fought Perez, I think it was his last one. So he gave him a cut over the eye a week before his fight outside the PI. And then he won the fight, obviously. They got to Manchester, and apparently Mohammed Makayev said to Manel Camp, "Let's crush it, let's fuck the beef." And they got a photo. Did you see the photo of them together?
No.
So they got a photo together in the fighter hotel, and just after the photo was taken, when Camp turned around, Makayev cracked him.
What?
Yeah, he cracked him when he turned around, boy.
What? Yeah, fuck him, but that's the way to do him.
Do you think so?
Because I reckon for him to do that, your man Manuel Cape must have done something just as dirty to him.
He gave him a cut the week before.
No, but I'd like to know how he did it. Like, was he sleazy? Do you know?
Well, Camp put up on his on his Instagram saying he was basically saying to Mohammed Markev, you know, what kind of man are you to hit me? You know, come up behind someone and hit him. When I done it to you, we were face to face. We knew it was going to go down.
Yeah.
But I think Dana and the matchmakers in UFC and shit, they would be furious because that could have ended with the fight being pulled from the card.
Yeah.
Like imagine Camp got knocked out and apparently he was hurt. That's the cut that he gave.
But did you see in Dana White's post-fight interview, they were asking questions like, Makaev said that someone told him before, stop shooting for takedowns or you won't be in the UFC anymore. And then Dana was like, there's loads of shit behind the scenes with this fella.
Yeah.
Like that's not the only reason for blah de blah. And then they kept trying to get out of him. Is he signing again? And then he kind of just said nah.
Well, I wouldn't say that the UFC would have officially come out and said to him, you're shooting too much, but they don't like wrestlers like.
But Dana White said he goes one of the matchmakers could have easily said that to him. He goes, the matchmakers don't like making matches for him.
Yeah, because
and then so he was like, I didn't say it, but like he was like, that could have been said to him.
I remember a fella years ago by his name is fucking skip me now, but he had like a 5-fight win streak. Oh, it was John Fitch. Yeah. He had like a 5-fight win streak, but he was just grappling everyone and just not exciting grappling, just getting them down and pinning them, and they cut him 5 fights in a row winning, like, and they got rid of him.
Yeah, it is. It's entertainment business at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah, you want to have entertaining fights, but then again, that's why I think the 50-50 split is actually fucking the opposite of incentivizing fellas to go, because you're going to be a bit more cautious and sensible when you know that if you lose, you're losing 50% of your pay. Like,
says he's in, it's at Bellator at the moment anyway.
John Fitch is, yeah, but yeah, it was a great main card.
Some head in the hand.
Paddy got a great win, and
Paddy's
I think now he's called out Renato Moicano, which is a big call out for him and a good fight for him, I think.
Yeah, man, Moicano's funny, way.
Very funny. That's why I think it's going to be a good fight.
He's a funny fucker, yeah.
It's going to be a very entertaining build up to those boys.
See the clip of Moicano talking about Raul Rosas. Being like, you're the ugliest fucker I've ever seen.
Jesus Christ.
He's like, you're a good fighter, like, but you're the ugliest jungle I've ever seen. It's so funny, way. Now, I like Moicano, alright.
Yeah, he's a legend.
That'll be a good fight.
It'll be a very good fight. I think before the performance at the weekend, people were just fucking writing off Paddy as this fella who's getting protected, and he really made a statement, as he said himself in the interview. Like, I would have been guilty of it even, you know. I would have seen him like when he fought Soren that night that I was there in Liverpool. It was his striking let him down, you know. And you imagine that he is focusing a lot on that part of his game and that he is making improvements, but he is a very dangerous fighter. Like, even if you look at his record, he only has, 2 defeats or 3 defeats max.
Yeah.
So, a fella who's that young, who's after that has that much experience, has that much momentum behind him, he's going to make a killing as well.
That's what I was going to say. There's
he's a great personality. Right?
There's something to be said about when you have that much momentum.
Yeah. It's
just like there's something in the air that you kind of shouldn't lose. You know, it's like when they say when you become champ, you're just 40% better.
Yeah.
Because you're the champ. It's like when you're a Sean O'Malley or a Paddy, it's like you're just less likely to lose. You know what I mean?
Buzzing, like you're believing in your own hype.
Yeah.
But I do think the one fuck up that he made in his path so far was the podcast with Dana when he went at Ariel. Whatever you think about Ariel, I just think it was a bit because he's so big on anti-bullying and mental health, and to basically slander a fella when he's not there to fucking be to defend himself. You're going to just be asking for trouble.
He still gets a lot of shit over that as well.
But I'd say he learned from it. But again, he's young, like who's to say I'm not fucking perfect?
And
if I was in that position.
Someone was like McGregor. Why doesn't pay McGregor? Doesn't pay anyone. When the fuck should he pay you?
Well, there's a lot of Ariel didn't just have beef with Paddy; he had beef with his manager as well.
That was more of it, I think. Really. Yeah.
Well, there's been beef in that for years between Graham and Ariel apparently. Did you see then Paddy on the bus? With the Northerners, with Keelan
Loughran.
Yeah.
I'd love to know how it started, and I'd love to have been able to hear more what Keelan was saying.
Yeah, because it's coming from Paddy's angle only.
Yeah, but there was a big argument on the fighter bus between.
So, big argument, and I don't know how it came up, but I imagine Paddy was talking to someone about Paul Hughes not signing for the UFC and signing for PFL, and apparently Keelan stood up and said Paul would make short work of you or something to Paddy. And then Paddy just went off, and then I called him
he's a saucy pup, calling him a mushroom and all this. It was just funny shit.
And then, from what you could hear of Keelan, like it's like he was trying to fucking
de-escalate maybe.
But Paddy was just fuming.
Because I was surprised, like Paddy was talking some shit, and Keelan was kind of, you could tell he wasn't, trying to go. You just naturally assume that them boys would just go for no reason.
Yeah.
But he was just like, fuck that.
But he obviously started it by if he stood up and said that to Paddy.
Yeah, he must.
Whether or no, again, look, Keelan's good buddies with Paul Hughes, and if Paddy was talking shit about his buddy, he has to say something. And I actually am good at Paul Hughes didn't sign for the UFC. I think he's the best Irish prospect. Even like Ian Garry is amazing, doing great things, but I think Paul Hughes had more potential than even Ian Garry did. Yeah, he's fucking animal.
And Paddy then was saying to Keelan Loughlin, you spar at mushrooms and shit.
Yeah,
he was saying some random shit.
But he's based out of Liverpool as well.
Loughlin? Is he now?
I don't know what gym he was saying. Mazda, I don't know, is that the gym?
His brother fights too as well.
Yeah, his brother is on Bellator, isn't there? PF Bellator. PF Bellator. Rob, what are you smirking about, boy?
I'm laughing at what Paddy was saying. What was the comment on the biggest comment on YouTube was like, it's bad when Paddy calls you something that you see in a fry or something. Sausage,
but even the commentator, I think Bisbing said it during the fight. He said something like, he's like, he's a very big head. And I don't mean egotistically.
I know, heard it too.
Who, Loughlin?
Yeah. Well,
he has a square head.
Jake Headley. But that's, that was a fight that I thought was going to be way more of a banger because both of them usually come to fight, Jake Headley as well.
And he was like a week's notice, wasn't he, Headley?
Yeah, he missed weight as well, but I imagine they'll kind of fucking brush it off. He only missed weight by a pound.
But he got 20% of his purse?
Yeah, but I imagine they would, because I know when he was on the Contender Series, he missed weight and Dana nearly didn't pick him over it, like.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he had a great performance, but Dana was a bit like,
he hates that shit.
You have to make your weight, like.
But to be fair, he had an excuse.
Major Chip Hazard.
That was it.
Stop laughing.
Major Chip Hazard?
Yeah, from Toy Story.
Toy Soldiers.
Toy Soldiers, sorry.
He's like, who
to
the
be
fuck's
fair, he's
Major
very
Chip
good.
Hazard?
He's very good at fucking the banter.
But them scousers are witty, like.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
But they're going to have an interesting fucking few years now with Paddy Boy. See where he goes, be interesting. I do hope he gets the Moicano fight. I imagine they're going to do it on a pay-per-view somewhere, and that's going to be a massive fight. They're probably going to have him on main card, and then if they do get that, if he does get the win, they'll probably have a huge show in Liverpool with him.
Definitely. They need to do him like they done Sean O'Malley, not too fast but not too slow, because like you want to keep him.
He was fucking huge, right, boy, compared to Bobby Green. He was twice the
big.
size.
I remember they said it in the commentary, but I remember looking straight away being like, he never looks that big, and Bobby Green's not small, like, I don't think.
He wouldn't be the biggest lightweight, there's fellas who are going to be.
But I thought Paddy was kind of small on the smaller side before.
Well, he used to fight featherweight, but he's just grown up. As I said, he's young. I don't know how old Paddy is. I imagine I think he's 30 soon.
Is he that old?
30, yeah.
And he got 200k bonus as well.
200k, but fuck. And it was Bobby Green asked for the 100k bonuses.
Yeah, and you didn't get a sniff off.
He didn't get a sniff off, but he got
29.
He got a sniff off Paddy's fucking balls.
Yeah, that's balls, wasn't
29.
29, oh yeah.
It was probably it was entertaining. One of the main event wasn't good at all.
No, I thought the main event was very good, by.
I'm just gutted by that Bilal as a champion. Honestly, he's a boring fucker.
You have to.
No one even knows why they just don't like him, but just nobody likes him. Yeah. It's weird, right? There's no reason. I can't even explain why I don't like him. I just don't like him.
I don't not like the fella. I just think it's he showed how he came in. His shape was unbelievable. He was fucking shredded. He had a tank for 5 rounds.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I actually should like him, but I just something about him is just like, nah.
Head slams for days.
Yeah, but nearly nailed him into the ground.
But Edwards did look flat. Now people are saying, it was because of the time, but I think Edwards never looks. He's always that kind of fighter, but he just looked like he wasn't switched on enough. He let Bilal and look again. Yeah. Let's give all the credit to Bilal. He closed the distance. Yeah. Was in fucking Edwards' face, and every time he shot for a takedown, he was fucking on it. The only round he lost was the round. Well, no, he lost the round when he was when Leon was on his back, and he lost the last round as well. Yeah. But people are saying as well, I heard Chael Sonnen saying that Leon didn't win the fight, but he lost the competition, right? Because it's 5 rounds. If the fight had continued, who knows what way it would have went. But Bilal came with a great game plan and executed it and left with the title. And then apparently he was saying, there was a interviewer, or what do they call it? And fucking journalist saying today and afterwards, why did they take down the Palestine flag when they were calling Bilal's name out?
That.
I didn't see it, but then Dana was like, what do you mean?
Bounced.
Well, he was like, the journalist was like, it was 2 UFC workers. He's like, were they wearing fucking UFC hats? Yeah. How do you know they were UFC workers? But he dodged the question. Yeah. But I'd say, what do they call it? WMO, what's the company that fucking own UFC? I'd say they're definitely fucking Zionists anyway.
Probably.
Definitely. But Bilal, Bilal's delighted from no boys at the welterweight
Who's
champion.
next? So, what do you think? For Bilal?
Whoever wins between Jack and Shavkat.
De Maladena. Is it Jack De Maladena or what?
Jack Della Mandalena. Jack Della Mandalena. That's the
And who's he fighting?
Shavkat. Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Yeah, Rakhmonov.
Who owns the UFC, Rob?
How old?
Who owns it? What's the company?
Sorry, it's just TKO. I saw there.
Oh, that's like the merger thing, isn't it? TKO thing.
That was when the merge with WWE.
Endeavour Group Holdings.
Endeavour Group. All right. Well,
that's it. So is it?
That's
it, boys. Rob, we do cover everything.
We did. The last one was Makachev released. Did we?
Yeah, we talked about that.
We kind of touched on that.
Sorry, I'm asleep here.
Yeah.
I said Makachev when I was messaging it, but it was actually Mohamed Makayev.
Oh yeah.
Two Dagestanis also.
They went straight over my head.
Islam didn't get released at all, no. So on YouTube, we've reached 700 subscribers. We really, really want to get to that number of 1,000. So if you could help us by hitting the subscribe button, we greatly appreciate it. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a rating, leave us a review. It really helps to push us up the old algorithm. That's it.
Just like, share, subscribe.
And we're going to be looking at people who listen to the show as fights, right? So if you're a fighter, if you have fights, especially knockouts or submissions, please send them into the podcast. We'd love to watch them.
Your friends, your mother's fights, whatever.
Anything, boys. Just send us shit in, and we'll do like segments where we just review stuff you send in.
Definitely don't send shit in.
Don't send nudes.
Do you know what we were actually looking at as well is knockouts? You know, even your favourite knockouts.
Yeah. Send in their favourite UFC knockouts and stuff. Yeah, all that kind of stuff. We want to do a bit of reaction. So get them in, lads. And peace out. Thanks for watching.
Bye bye.